I'm angry. I'm angry. I'm pissed off. I'm fuming and fucking hell. Hello, by the way. I hope you are doing great, because I'm not. Because I'm fucking not. No, seriously, like, what the actual fuck? And the reason for this is this. Stop teaching others your accent! Why are two non-native speakers representing English accents? I'd like people to know that no one talks like this. No, no, no. It's safe to assume they're an alien, not human. Fucking hell. Bad English again. Number 3 is wrong. Stop doing this. You're just copying and you're just doing it way worse. You are pronouncing it incorrectly. First, improve yourself and then post. Pronunciation is very bad. Oh my god. Pointless and somewhat incorrect. Very poor pronunciation. Your pronunciation is suspect. Oh yes. You need to work on it. Many things wrong. Remove the video. Nobody uses these words anywhere. Oh my god. Fucking hell, people. I'm so glad non-native speakers are teaching English. But if I'm being honest, they usually make mistakes and teach English in a bad way. There's a lot of mistakes here. We don't use these words in daily conversation. This is not a good lesson. Oh, this Singaporean lady doesn't sound like someone who speaks English often. Stop confusing people. Your accent. Ha 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 ha. When so many people are learning from you, you better be careful and responsible. Please stop upload. You will thank me in 5 years. Please stop. I do think that only native English speakers should teach English to others. Oh my god. An ancient vampire tried to teach people how to speak broken English. Wrong, just wrong. You need some English teaching, not me. Stop talking about English vocabulary when you can't pronounce it correctly. What a ridiculous pronunciation. Learn your accent, dude. You shouldn't teach a language that you can barely speak, man. Inhale, exhale, who's What the fuck? What the fuck, people? Seriously. And I know what you're gonna say, like, haters will hate and, you know, don't pay attention to that because they're little pieces of shit with, you know, no friends, nobody likes them, so that's why they have enough time to write this, like, ridiculous, stupid bullshit. They just want to bring people down because their lives are just, like, so miserable. And blah, 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 blah. I know. It still pisses me off. It still really does piss me off. These comments are actually not mine. Like, I believe they are coming. They're coming, like, haters are coming for me. I actually received only one, which is from this Floppy Lop. Floppy Lop, thank you very much for your participation. And he is, like, questioning my intentions and my background and how dare I think I can teach people. Actually went onto the channels of my colleagues, non-native speakers who are trying to help people and teach English, right? And it made me sick. It genuinely made me sick, and it blows my mind how somebody can turn something so beautiful and innocent into something so disgusting. It's disgusting. People are disgusting. I'm not angry because of myself. Like, I'm pretty aware of my mistakes and my accent. I know that my English is not perfect and it will never be, and I don't give a fuck. I'm completely fine with that. The reason why I'm so angry is because every single day students come to me and they are about to have some interview or some presentation or a meeting or just a lunch with foreigners or native speakers. And guess what happens? They are fucking shitting themselves. They are really, really scared of that. They are terrified of that. They are afraid of making mistakes. They're afraid of looking stupid. They are afraid of the judgment that would come from the others. They cannot sleep. They cannot think of anything else. They are stressing out, and it's breaking my heart. It's genuinely breaking my heart when I see them in this state, and they're like genuinely terrified of those interactions. And it is because of these people, because of these little motherfuckers. And they're mostly terrified of speaking in front of native speakers, right? And I'm like, no, like seriously, tell me, how would you feel if you had a meeting with a foreigner who would be trying to speak your native language? How would you feel about them? Huh? Do you know what they say? Everyone says, I would be proud. I would be impressed. I would be like, well fucking done, mate. Like, oh my God, you are learning my language. Like, oh my God, you're amazing. Keep it up. Like, well fucking done. Like, I'm proud of you. That's their reaction, right? None of them would ever say like, I would laugh at their accent. I would point out their mistakes. I would, you know, try to bring them down and tell them like, oh my God, you've got so much to improve. Or give it up, mate. You know, like there is no hope, you know, just fuck it. Like your English is bad. None of them would say that, because normal people spread happiness, and it's only these little pieces of shit that are saying that. And these comments are targeted on the teachers, because we as teachers, we should speak perfectly. If we want to teach somebody, everything about us should be perfect. Our pronunciation, our grammar, like all of those things. Do you know what? Bullshit. Because it is impossible. It is impossible. We are just students of English, and we are not doing this. Like, we are not teaching people because we think that we are perfect, because we want to show off or something like this. No, we just want to help people because we know how fucking hard it is to learn it. We've been through this, and we see people around the world who are struggling, and we just want to help. We just want to share our knowledge, like how we did it. We want to make them feel better. We want to show them that, you know, it is possible, because at the beginning it looks really impossible and unachievable, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to speak in a perfect way. Like, those are two very different things, because speaking a perfect English doesn't make you a good teacher. There is more to that. It's about your personality. It's about the way you make people feel, how supportive you are. If you can genuinely like help them, and like perfect way of speaking, it's like has nothing to do with that. Like, of course you should have the knowledge and like know the language correctly, but not like 100% of the time. It's just, it's impossible, and I'm gonna tell you why. When you are learning a second language, you just cannot be perfect. You just cannot. But just because there is a lot of like bullshit flying around and people promising unachievable things to happen, like people have this like misconception of like learning a second language, which makes people like this feel like, you know, entitled to say those things to you, because they've got absolutely no idea how hard and challenging and difficult it is, especially when it comes to English, for fuck's sake. Like, I've heard from some people that, you know, English is the new black and everybody speaks English and, you know, it's just so normal. It's not. It's not fucking normal. It's so fucking hard. It's a hard work, and everybody who speaks even a little bit of English deserves a praise. Everybody deserves a fucking applause. It doesn't matter what your level is. You could be right at the beginning, or maybe you know just a couple of words. You deserve an applause, and I'm proud of you. I'm genuinely really proud of anybody on any kind of level, and especially like these like fucking like natives, you know, like how many languages do you speak, for fuck's sake? Because nobody who has ever tried to learn a second language would write anything like this. Because it makes you humble. When you're trying to like learn a second language, you know that it is challenging. So you would never ever write anything like this unless you are a narcissistic, selfish, cocky, arrogant moron. If you are that, then, you know, feel free. So in this video, I would like to share 6, I think, painful truths about learning a second language that apparently so many people don't know about. They live in illusion. So let's start with the fucking accent, shall we? So first of all, you will never ever sound like a native speaker. It's impossible. Just like that. I know it sounds horrible and I'm sorry to say this, but it's just true. It's impossible. I've been listening to English people for a decade, right? 10 years of me listening to English every single day. And I can always recognize a non-native speaker. I'm not saying that you cannot get, you know, to a really beautiful and nice level and have a beautiful accent. Like, yeah, that's possible, definitely. Yeah, and we will all get there together. I'm just saying that sounding exactly like a native speaker is impossible. There is always something, because it's not just about the pronunciation. By the way, there is a massive difference between pronunciation and accent. Two very different things. So it's not only about pronunciation, it's also about the stress. Getting the stresses right, getting the melody and the intonation right. Also, it is about saying the right thing at the right time with the right intonation. Just using the right vocabulary, using the right slang and phrasal verbs and idioms and all of those things. Like doing it enough, but not overdoing it. Such a huge task to get all of those like little things 100% correct. And also, like, there are so many types of English and so many accents. Like, which one should you fucking choose? You know, like, you've got 50 states in America. Everybody speaks differently, right? You've got the UK. Literally in every single village, like, people have a different accent, right? Like 5 kilometers apart, people will speak differently, use different slang for things like South African English, Australian English, Indian English. Like, how can you choose? So like most non-natives, we have a mix of all of those Englishes, because we have to study American English, we have to study British English, and like we just cannot like choose just one particular way. Like, it's just impossible. So of course our accents are a mix of like all of those things. And also, why should we? Why should we try to pretend that we are like natives? I don't want that. I am proud of being a non-native English speaker, because it was a fucking hard work. I dedicated a lot of time to that. I studied a lot and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of being a non-native. And if somebody can recognize that from my accent, I'm proud of it. And I think everybody should be fucking proud of their accent, because you deserve a praise. So all of us non-natives, like, we are fucking amazing. So give yourself a pat on the back, right? Next thing is that you will never stop making mistakes. Again, it's impossible. First of all, it's impossible to know everything, right? But when you study a second language, like, you just have to accept the fact that you will be making mistakes forever, because you do that even in your native language, right? Because your ability to speak doesn't depend only on your knowledge. It's affected by so many things. How tired you are, how stressed you are. If you are feeling ill, for example, recently I watched the news and there was this lady, you know, speaking Czech to a Czech person, and she like made a lot of like grammatical mistakes, sounded like really clumsy. And do you think it was because she can't speak her own native language? No, it was because she was fucking nervous because she was on TV. So of course, like the stress of the situation makes her make mistakes. And it's fine. It's like, what is wrong about it? Nothing. Nothing. I think this is a step number one. If you want to be a confident speaker, you just have to embrace the fact that you make mistakes, and it's fine. It's fine. Like, I know it's difficult because we want to be perfect, and we've got this like in us from the school, because like in school you have to write a test and everything has to be 100% correct, you know, and your teacher will, you know, not accept a sentence if you like made one little mistake, then the entire sentence is wrong, and bullshit like this. In reality, it doesn't really matter. I can honestly tell you that even when my students like mess up 90% of the sentence, I can still understand exactly what they are trying to say. When they don't use the articles, when they say incorrect prepositions, when they choose the wrong grammar tense, even when there is a lot of things wrong, I can still understand exactly what they are trying to say. And that's what is important, right? It's about communication. It's not about being perfect. It's about communication and fucking like understanding each other. You know, it's not about tiny little mistakes like, oh my god, he said don't instead of doesn't. Like, no. Can you still understand what it means? Fucking amazing. Mission accomplished, message delivered, and that's what we want. We don't study English in order to be correct 100% of the time, in order to write stupid tests and stupid exercise. We do it because we want to communicate with people, because we want to share things with them. For example, one of my most precious memories of my time in England was, so there was this house party. It was full of foreigners. We had the British people, we had Scottish, we had Italian, Spanish, Colombian, Portuguese, Chinese, Swedish, yeah, and there were like people from all over the world, and they were sitting like in different corners of the flat, and one group of people was talking about music. They were musicians, and they were talking about, they were like jamming together, playing some music, you know, having fun. One of my best friends was a writer. She was interested in writing poems, and she and her, like some of their friends, they were talking about poetry and writing, right? Then there was a group of chefs. Yeah, and they were talking about recipes and how they manage the stress at work and stuff. And it blew my mind. I was just standing there and I was like, how amazing is that people from all over the world can just like sit here and talk about their passions, talk about their ideas and their future and the things they want to improve and what they want to learn. Like, that was the most beautiful moment I've ever experienced. That's why we study fucking languages. When you're studying a second language, it's not about perfection, it's about connection and communication, right? Next thingy is the fact that learning a second language takes a long time. There is a lot of people, you know, saying this like, you can learn, or we can teach you English in 3 months, become fluent in 3 months, and all of this bullshit. It's bullshit. It just is. Learning a second language takes time. It takes years. Yeah, I mean, you can still learn a lot of things in a couple of months. It really depends on how much effort you put in, how much time you devote to that. Like, you know, like the length of the process really depends on that. But overall, just to get comfortable in speaking about anything, it's gonna take a long time, right? So don't put the pressure on yourself thinking that somebody said like, I learned, you know, Spanish in 3 months. Yeah, that you have to learn Spanish in 3 months. It's bullshit. It's just genuinely like bullshit. And anybody who says that, like, I don't believe you. Like, you can definitely be fluent in certain topics, you know, like talking about your hobbies and, you know, that, but can you really talk about any kind of topic? Another thing is that there is no finish line. There is no finish line, there is no deadline. It's never ending. Like, I'm sorry, but you can never be like, I've learned English, yeah, next one. Like, it will never happen. It's never ending. Like, trust me, I tried. I bought dictionaries and I wanted to learn every single word in English language, and it's impossible. It's possible. A lot of people think that, you know, studying English is like driving. You know, you take this course, you take the lessons, you know, the instructor explains all of the thingies like the gear stick, and this is the steering wheel, this is how you operate it, and then at the end of the course you've got all of the knowledge and you can just drive. It doesn't work like this when it comes to languages. No, it's never ending. If you want to compare it to driving, you would have to imagine that the rules in every single country are different. Yeah, so you would have to learn the rules for each country in the world. Also, it's not only about driving a car. You would have to learn how to pilot a plane, helicopter, motorbike, tractor, combine, tram, the underground, all of those things. That's the language. Yeah, different rules for different country, learning like different vehicles. That's that. And it is impossible. It is impossible. It's fucking hard. So again, just take it easy. Take it easy and just make sure that you enjoy your learning. And also, it is like, I quite like it. Like, I know it sounds quite discouraging, but I actually love the fact that there is always something to learn, because you can never experience this gold medal syndrome where, for example, you've got some athlete, you know, they're preparing for the Olympic Games, you know, every single day they're working really, really hard, they're on a mission, they have a purpose, they have a goal, and then they win, and instead of celebrating the victory, they're like, what do I do now with my life? Like, you know, that challenge is over, I am the best one in the world, and what do I do? You know, like that, no, I should take a break. Like, what? No, I don't want to take a break, I want to work on something. Do you know? And a lot of people experience this, but it will never happen with English. Like, I know it's like it can piss you off, but if you look at it from a different perspective, it's fucking amazing, because there is always something to learn. You can always improve, you can always become better, you can always develop, you can always, like, it's magical. It's a hobby for the rest of your life. And actually, I love the fact that it's never ending and I can always learn something new. Like, you can absolutely get to a very nice and comfortable level of English. Like, you can, you know, get to the level where you are comfortable, confident, you can talk about anything and everything, but there will still be something new. And also, the language is evolving. You know, like, what was trendy or correct like 10 years ago, people just don't use it anymore. You know, so textbooks and shit like this are full of like fake information. Yeah, so it's just impossible to just like learn everything and to know everything. That's another one, that you will just never learn everything. It's just impossible. There will always be something new. And if anybody says that when I watch TV and films and whatever, I understand everything, they are chatting shit. When I watch the same content over and over again, for example, when I watch vlogs from the natives living in the UK, I understand everything, right? But the other day I watched a film with Tom Hanks, right? And it was about the Navy, American Navy. There were some battleships and things like that. I didn't understand majority of the things because it was some like military slang and like these commands, and like I had absolutely like I was lost, so I had to have the subtitles on because I'm not interested in this topic. Like it was new to me. And if I watch some documentary about like chemistry, you know, historical weapons, like medicine, like of course there will be something new, and of course there will be something I don't understand. Do I stress about it? No, because I don't have to talk about these things every single day. So of course I don't understand. It's fine. It's okay. You know, if I want to learn it, I can. But most of the time I don't want to. Yeah, like you will never know everything and you will never understand everything. Like that's a fact. But the thing is that you can actually like, you can fucking decide. We are not in school anymore, and you can decide what you want to say and how you want to say it. You can decide which phrases you like, which ones you don't like. You can decide, you know, like, this sounds lovely, but it's a bit too complicated, so I will just, you know, use it passively, but you don't have to say that. You can choose. You can choose the way you speak, you know, and it's gonna evolve. It's gonna become better and better. So, my darlings, what I want you to take from this video is that everybody who studies a second language deserves a fucking applause. Here is one, just in case nobody has given you one in a long time. Here it is. I'm proud of you. You are amazing. Number 2 is don't worry about your English level. Don't think that, you know, my English is not good enough and all of this bullshit. You are on a journey, you are on a mission, and you just have to go from nothing. Like everybody who has learned any second language, they started from 0, you know, and it's a process, you know. So just like enjoy the process, be proud of every single level that you achieve. Don't compare yourself to the others. Just feel fucking proud of what you're doing. And instead of being like ashamed, be like, yeah, this is my English level at the moment, but I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna be better, because that's what I do. Because it's a beautiful hobby, it's really good for your brain, and it is admirable. And every normal human being will be fucking proud of you. And you should be proud of yourself and not ashamed. Don't stress about making mistakes. Mistakes are fun. Every time there is a mistake in the lesson, we just laugh about it. Don't take yourself very seriously. Because what's the point, for fuck's sake? Because it's fun. When you make a mistake and there is some misunderstanding, like most people will laugh with you. They will not laugh at you, they will laugh with you because it's just funny. And also most people don't even hear it because they're about their own insecurities. So actually nobody pays attention to you as much anyway. Like usually when you have some sort of meeting in English, it is just full of people who are just so focused on themselves and thinking about their English and how bad their English is. They don't even pay attention to what you are saying. I've got CEOs, I've got managers, I got interviewers, I've got interviewees. Everybody is like focused on their English and how stressed they are about their English, so they don't even like listen to you, and they don't have time to judge your English. Like no, because they're just so focused on their English and their mistakes. So can we just like chill the fuck out? Focus on the bigger picture. Like when it comes to languages, I think you've got 2 options. You can look at it as a competition. You can feel bad. You can compare yourself to the others. You can feel bad about everything. You can feel bad about your mistakes. You can feel like a piece of shit every time you have to speak with people. You can have this approach, or you can look at the bigger picture. First of all, you can be proud of yourself because it is fucking amazing and you deserve an applause because you are doing something meaningful, you are working on yourself, you are doing something which is really good for your brain, you are improving, and that deserves a praise. Yeah. Also, you can focus on the fact that you just want to communicate with people, you just want to have fun with people. So can we just like take it easy and hold hands and support each other and just be nice to each other, you know? And also, like, we as teachers, we've got this responsibility and you should blah blah blah. We are humans. All of these things that I've talked about apply to us. We are not fucking dictionaries, you know? We are humans and we mispronounce words, we make mistakes, we make typos. We just do a lot of shit just like anybody else. We don't want to be making mistakes. Like, we don't want to be mispronouncing words. We are fully aware of that. It's not intentional. And just because we are like teaching, it doesn't mean that, you know, we have to be perfect. Like, no, if I was waiting for me to be perfect in order to teach and like help others, like, never. It would never ever happen. And like, the natives make mistakes as well, for fuck's sake. So nobody would be able to teach. The natives, the non-natives, like, just bullshit. So let's just all take it a bit easy. Let's just have a bit of fun. Let's support each other. You know, share some love and kindness. And I love you. I'm proud of you. You are amazing. And I will catch you later. Cannot wait for the hate comments.